Have you ever wondered about the first murder in human history? From the dawn of time, stories have been passed down, shaping our understanding of the world and ourselves. One such story is that of Cain and Abel, the first sons of Adam and Eve, as recorded in Genesis. Cain and Abel were as different as brothers could be. Cain, the elder, was a farmer, tilling the soil and growing crops. Abel, on the other hand, was a shepherd, caring for flocks of sheep. They both brought offerings to God, offerings that reflected their work and their hearts. Abel's offering, a firstling from his flock, was accepted by God. But Cain's offering, the fruits of his labor, was not. This rejection sparked a flame of jealousy and anger within Cain, a flame that would prove to be disastrous. Instead of seeking understanding or instruction from God, Cain allowed his pride to blind him from his error, filling his heart with hate for his brother. The story takes a tragic turn when Cain, consumed by his anger and jealousy, commits the unthinkable act of murder, taking the life of his own brother Abel. This was the first recorded instance of fratricide, and indeed, the first murder in human history. But the story doesn't end with this act of violence. God, in his omniscience, confronts Cain. He doesn't shy away from addressing the gravity of Cain's transgression. Yet even in his judgment, God shows mercy, marking Cain to protect him from being killed in retribution. Cain's actions led not only to his brother's death but also to his own downfall, becoming a fugitive and the first recorded criminal. He was banished from his land, forced to wander the earth, isolated from his family and community. This is a powerful reminder of the harm that pride, envy, and anger can cause. It's a lesson that resonates throughout time, even today. It teaches us to recognize evil emotions and practice self-control. The story of Cain and Abel serves as a sobering reminder of pride's destructive nature and the importance of seeking understanding and reconciliation. It is a timeless tale that captures the full potential of sin. Yes, sin. Cain's pride, envy, and anger led to the murder of his brother. But did the story end there? No, it did not. In the aftermath of the first murder, when Cain had slain his brother Abel, humanity was left in a state of despair. Yet it was in this thick cloud of sorrow that a new ray of hope emerged, a beacon of renewal named Seth. As recounted in the book of Genesis, chapter 4, verse 25, Adam and Eve were blessed with another son, whom they named Seth. His name in Hebrew means appointed or granted, and he was seen as a divine gift, a replacement for Abel, who was taken away too soon. Seth's birth was not just about filling a void left by Abel, but also about restoring hope, faith, and the promise of continuity. Seth's birth also foreshadowed the restoration that was to come through Christ. Now, let's take a moment to consider the significance of Seth's lineage. It was through Seth's descendants that humanity would be preserved during the Great Flood. Among his descendants was a righteous man named Noah. Noah, as we know, was chosen by God to build an ark, preserving not just his family but a pair of each creature, ensuring the continuation of life on earth after the flood. Seth's birth in the Bible reminds man of the consequences of sin and the justice of God the Almighty. This constant theme in the Bible builds up and foreshadows the coming Christ, that is, Jesus Christ, the Son of God. Look at Seth's existence as a metaphor for God's master plan throughout history. No matter the evils that befall, mercy always follows. No matter the consequences, grace always arrives. And no matter how devastating sin can be, God's mercy and guidance provide hope for us. Seth's birth taught us about the history of sin and God's grace that renews our path and story. But how does this ancient story connect to Jesus Christ, you might ask? The answer lies within the intricate tapestry of human genealogy woven through the ages. Let's take a moment to delve into the lineage of Jesus Christ as recorded in the Gospel of Luke. This genealogy traces the line of Jesus all the way back to Adam and Eve's third son, Seth. Yes, the very Seth we discussed earlier. Now think about this for a moment. After the tragic story of Cain and Abel, Adam and Eve were blessed with another son, Seth. In Hebrew, Seth's name means appointed or placed. It was as if, with Seth's birth, God was giving humanity a second chance, a new hope. And is Jesus Christ not, in essence, the very beacon of hope for all mankind? But let's not get ahead of ourselves. The line from Seth to Jesus was a challenging path. It was a long, winding journey filled with ups and downs, victories and defeats. Yet, throughout it all, there was a constant thread of divine providence, guiding and shaping history. Seth's lineage includes figures like Noah, who built the ark and survived the Great Flood, Abraham, the father of nations, who displayed extraordinary faith in God, and David, the humble shepherd boy who became a mighty king. Each of these patriarchs in their unique way foreshadowed the coming of Jesus Christ, but you see, all these patriarchs came through Seth, whom God brought into existence to rectify the evil caused by Cain. Seth came forth to preserve God's promise to mankind that he would save us from the plague of all men, sin. So, you see, the story of Cain and Abel and the birth of Seth is not just an isolated tale or fable from the distant past. It's an integral part of a much larger narrative that spans generations and ultimately leads to the birth of Jesus Christ, the Son of God. Through Seth, a new hope was born, a lineage that would lead to our Savior, Jesus Christ. This story powerfully reminds us that even in tragedy and despair, God can bring hope and redemption. Therefore, trust God and believe in Him. How does this story apply to our lives today? A question that might have crossed your mind as we navigated the narrative of Cain, Abel, and Seth. The answer, my friends, lies in the principles being expressed in the texts. We wrestle with anger, resentment, and pride. And in this story, the Bible teaches us the dangers of these feelings if they are not controlled. See, after Cain's offering was rejected, God said to him, "Why are you angry? And why has your countenance fallen? If you do well, will you not be accepted? And if you do not do well, sin lies at the door, and its desire is for you, but you should rule over it." Now let's turn to Abel, the innocent victim. His life, though brief, demonstrates the injustices that some may suffer for the sake of righteousness. Abel's story shows how tragedies may befall us because of our diligence toward God. And then there's Seth, the embodiment of hope and new beginnings. His birth was a fresh start for Adam and Eve, a beacon of hope after their tragic loss. Seth's story is a testament to the grace of God, reminding us that no matter how dire the situation is, God's mercy and plan will preserve and guide us. As we navigate our own journeys that we call life, these lessons from the story of Cain, Abel, and Seth can guide us. They encourage us to confront our sinful nature, and the confrontation of this nature is only found in God. So, as we go about our day, let's carry these lessons with us. Let's strive to be more understanding, more forgiving, and more hopeful, because in the end, no matter what we have done, there is always hope for a new beginning, just as in the story of Cain, Abel, and Seth.